Shalom. This is day 4 of Hansen to Anthony. I'm only about 35 minutes away. This is a great rest area that I stayed at. This is scenic overlook off of I-10 in just out of, what is it? Shoot, now I'm drawing like something like St. Lucius or something. I'm gonna make some coffee. I'm gonna show you some of the area around here. I'll be back shortly. Shalom. Okay, Salahia, it was Las Cruces, New Mexico. There you probably see in the very bottom left-hand corner the Roadrunner that's made out of recycled material. We'll go over there and take a closer look at it after I get my coffee. Right now we have first light, first hour of the day. I noticed that that I'm waking up a little bit ahead of the sun and then getting into bed like as the sun is going down. And my Yapa Shaha baby, hi, I love you, I miss you. It says, oh, like a farmer? But I guess so. My clock is the greater light that rules the day. I mean, in some ways, I still have to live by the log book. Anyway, not making a lot of sense right now. I apologize. I'm gonna get myself some coffee and then I'll show you around this little place, because this is one of the best rest areas I've ever seen. And I wish that more places would model themselves after this one, because it's really well done. Okay guys, so this is actually where I arranged my camping bin and cooked up my supper last night. And these are great. These are great little, there's maybe a dozen of these around there. I think this cutout right here is for a grilling arrangement. And then this little area over here is to keep the trash. And they change out the bags. I mean, they maintain the grounds. Over here is water that I was able to access in order to rinse out all my dishes and everything. And the whole place is a circle. Let's go over here for a second. I know there's like a generator or something running back here, but I think you can probably still hear me. So this is just the middle of the circle. And when you first pull in, there's parking for RVs along the outside ring. And the whole inside ring is for big trucks and RVs too. So it's a big truck there. There's my rig and trailer. And then you see like a guy down there, he's on the outside. And then the front part where the bathroom building is all the auto parking. You see it says award-winning rest area 1992. I don't know why it didn't continue to win. I think that other rest areas could model themselves after the design is one of the main things that I am making note of, because there's so much parking and everyone's kind of spread out and people have their own space. So this is the center, I guess, piece for some people, right? For me, it was the overlook, which I'll show you in a second. And it is called overlook, so I have to say they do kind of make that the central theme, don't they? So this is made out of all recycled garbage, crutches, computer keyboards, I don't know, all kinds of stuff. Let's go down here. We'll go ahead and go across. So yeah. See up there all the shoes. I'm not sure what, oh, that's rubber, like from bicycle tires on the legs. Looks like the underside of an ironing board making the little belly part. And yeah, this is I-10, which is a really major U.S. interstate. I'm sure you know. It's from California to Florida, right? Or wherever it goes, Jacksonville. And then there's the valley. And right now the sun is, woo-wee. He's bright, boy. He's definitely bright. Last night it was pretty awesome, you guys. There were storm clouds around me. It was raining pretty much in 360 degrees all around me. And here was just the littlest bit of rain. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and break out my cooktop and I've been looking forward to the ground beef, which has some lamb in it. Cracked a few eggs into there along with it. Spiced it all up with la chula. I'm sorry, I said la chula. Chalula. But yeah, so you can see that these little picnic areas they have basically the same layout, and there's dozens. There's even one farther out over there, one there, and they make their way around the entire thing. And there's a few in the center area as well. All right, so 5 stars to this scenic lookout rest area in New Mexico. I don't know what happened. My first batch of coffee, the pot must have shut off or something, because it was really light. It only brewed like halfway. So I'm redoing it. I'll be back with you guys shortly. All right, Shalom. This is a day that Yahuwah has made. I will rejoice. I don't want to say that word actually. I will give thanks and be glad in it. So we have 34 miles to get to the dealership. It says we'll get there at 7:43. They're not open until 9. So we're going to need to take our time dealing with this situation. Can't be flying down there in a hurry. We actually haven't even had any of the coffee yet because I had to remake it. But maybe Abba wanted me to drink my coffee using the water that was over there where I was washing stuff off at. I mean, I don't know that if it's coming from a well. I don't know if it's city water, but I need to try to conserve the water that I brought from home because I don't have that much. So I'm going to log my safety check that I did. Okay, something weird happened with my phone, family. I gotta get in here and figure out what the heck happened. It shouldn't be changing time zones. This technology is just out of control, how it's always trying to do stuff on its own. I don't need you doing stuff on your own, okay? Date and time. See, it turned itself back on. It's not supposed to be on automatic. This is supposed to stay on Eastern. Okay. Of which it is 9. Okay. That's correct. this to 8:30 when I began. Safety check is a little longer than I would want it to be. That's all right. That's okay. 336. I'm trying to put in the BOL from yesterday. I don't think I'm remembering it correctly. 36336. I think I did actually. Wow. That's pretty amazing. I don't know what's going on there, dude. Let's see if we got any loads yet. It is Monday. Dispatch has been up for an hour and 15 minutes. Wow. So there's some reloads though. There wasn't anything. There's no regular loads yet. That's not very, that's not very encouraging. That's a little bit on the concerning side. I'm gonna get us a script. We need a script, Baba. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. In his sanctuary, praise him in the expanse of his power. Praise him for his mighty acts. Praise him according to his excellent greatness. Praise him with the sound of the shofar. Praise him with the psaltery and the harp. Praise him with the timbrel and dance. Praise him with stringed instruments and flutes. Praise him upon the loud cymbals. Praise him upon the high sounding cymbals. Let everything that has breath praise Yah. Hallelujah. Yahuah. Aman. Aman. All right. Shalom. I am at the Camping World in Anthony, Texas. Just waiting for them to open up so that I can drop this load. I did check, and my company is putting new loads in. So, halal Yahuah, it was just nothing really over the weekend, but now they're starting to drop. And I'm going to want to get something picking up in Indy, most likely the 31st or the 1st of August, because I want to get the truck serviced at Transport Protect. Those guys are awesome. They have a special for this month where they're giving 10% off. I already know that I'm gonna need brakes. 2 months ago, I believe it was the rears were at 45%. So it's not like, they're making a bunch of noise and it's all junk. Like, I'm trying to stay ahead of stuff, and I noticed that the air cleaner underneath the hood, like when I was putting the DEF in there, I was like looking at it, I'm like, oh, that thing looks cockeyed. And I reached in and touched it, and it's not secured. I don't appreciate that. But obviously I know that they can fix it. It's an aftermarket air cleaner. It was an upgrade that was done on the truck, so like that's the kind I believe that they can clean and re-secure. So I'm gonna have that done, plus all the filters, oil filter, fuel filter, those kinds of services. So yeah, this load was paying $14.88. They gave me a I think they actually gave me $660 advance on it. So I will be collecting the balance once I drop the load today. I'm very well on fuel. I did look and seen that the service or the pilot in Anthony, Texas has today or right now $2.99 a gallon, so under $3. Like, so I consider that to be a victory, but I'm probably only looking at like about 30 gallons that I would need. But I top it off, I get my second cup of coffee going, and I start trying to make some miles to Indy. I got to get a move on, and that's what we're finna do. So that's the plan, family. To be honest with you, this little wrap up sequence of day 4 is really, really short. So likely what I'll do is, I'm gonna call it, Hansen to Anthony day 4, but I'm also going to just be adding whatever comes up today. I was watching the Golden Dawn. She was there doing her thing. Fake stuff, bro. But anyway, they are SETing the stage. New lines are being drawn. So that's concerning what they're using the tariffs and the trade war scenario to fuel the whole thing, to increase the wars and rumors of wars, to increase the famine, right? And then they're going to come and drop that next level pestilence thing. Don't forget about that disease X. The X symbol is very important to them, those worshippers of Osiris. Elon's been a little quiet lately, right? We're going to see. It's going to escalate. Things are ramping up. We'll talk about that and more and whatever else Yahuah places upon my heart. We'll find a place to get out and blow the shupar. Let me just talk about the shupar for a second. So, the shupar is a ram's horn. The ram's horn is a pretty simple thing. It's this little guy right here. You ever seen those guys out, those big old long twirlies going around and around and around? That doesn't come from a ram. You decide. I gave you information. Now you take it to the Father and you work it out. Okay? Jubilees, Yubalim is a plurality of this, right? Which is also an alarm, which is also for war, and a war specifically with wicked spirits, wicked Ruach Ha'Qadash, right? Blast and announce and praise the name of Yahuah. Cover all that which is under your stead and your care, right? Be like Abba. And Abba is a mighty man of war. And when I say this mighty man, I'm not talking about how strong you are or how much, diesel mechanic you are, which is awesome if you are, but I'm just saying, I'm talking about pursuing righteousness, standing firm when there's error, rebuke error in love, but don't compromise. See, a man of Yahuah doesn't compromise. Does Yahuah compromise? Does Yahuah wink at transgression and be like, that's okay. I know that you meant well. I think that you're a very nice person. No, he ain't even about respecter of persons at all. He's about objective standards of truth. Right? Statutes, precepts, ordinances, commandments, moedims. Do you not know that it says in the scriptures that they will take a unclean day and proclaim it as clean, and then they'll take a clean day and call it common? That's a curse that he put upon the sons of Noah, because they broke the oath and drank the blood. The days became dislodged to them. So it's not like, oh, it's okay. I can do the Sabbath whenever. The Father knows my heart. He knows that your heart is deceitfully wicked above all things. That's what the scripture says. And it goes on to say, who shall know it? Bing. Right? Mic drop. If you know Abba, you know Yahuah, then you want him to have hasad upon your wicked heart and ask him to make his heart new, renewed. Make your heart new and renewed like his, like Yahusha. Like Yahusha, right? The times are fixed and appointed. The commandments are fixed and written on sapphire stones from the Shemayim. You know, did you know that the Torah and the Moedim is written in the Shemayim? Right? On what? Sapphire stones, like the blue dome over your head. In what? Abrith letters, the 22 original letters that come from Yahuah, the language of creation, the language of angels, the pure lip from Zephaniah 3:9, Baruk Yahuah, hallelujah. All right, guys, I'm gonna see if I can get this trailer dropped, get that money coming in, and go top off the fuel, top off the other fuel, and start rolling. Okay, it ended up being 1,066 miles. Excuse me, I'm just curious what they said. They said 1,063. I'd say that's probably accurate because I did reroute a little bit for my rest area stuff. But all in all, I would say that that was a pretty great load. I would have to give it a 6 out of 10 because, well, the only reason why, so this is kind of silly. I had to document there was no sewer cap, that one of the rear axle hub cap things that keeps the bearing grease is missing, and that there's an underbelly. They have like the skid plate cover thing in the underbelly. Well, the screw is in the plastic material, but it never went into the wood. So the assembler, the fabricator, whatever, missed that. And so it's just been down. I was a little torn if I should try to like dig out my drill and find the right bit and climb up under there. But I was like, I want them to know. I want them to see, because I don't know, then maybe they need to check those other ones too, because they might be missing the wood. And you know, I could just tell them, but I don't think it really impacted us that much. Now, I would say that the trailer is in the condition that it was when I left. There's no driver damage or anything like that. Just leaving room for some more positive things, because I did get 9.4 miles to the gallon, and that doesn't seem that great for a trailer. I have it right here, because it's not that heavy. It says it's 7,100 pounds. So what's up with that? What's up with the drag? I don't know for sure, but I'll be mindful and keep an eye on it. Is 3 too late? I can update in a few days as well. I really like dealing with Transport Protect too, because I just text them, and so you know they're gonna get me on the books to be scheduled to come in on the 31st, because that's the last day of their special, their brake special, 10% off, and I want to try to capture that, because that's something that I known that I needed. And all the brakes on this truck are old, and I don't know exactly how old, because the truck, from what I understand, was a single owner and it sat for a long. See, they're so awesome. They're like, yeah, we'll put you down for 3 o'clock, no problem. If you think you can get in earlier, just let us know. And they're like that. And you go there, and they have a lounge, and there's a table there. I last time I put the laptop up and started uploading videos, and they offer coffee and water and stuff like that. And every time that I've been there, they've taken me to the back and shown me something on the truck. And I really appreciate that. I hate the freaking corporate style. You know what I mean? And you just talk to the associate person. You never get to talk to the actual mechanic. No, I get to talk to the mechanics here, and I get to tell them what I think's happening, and they get to tell me what they see, and we get to talk about it. Baruk Yahuah. All right, and we'll be back with you guys shortly. Shalom. Oh, dang, we just did miss probably one of the... I mean, you're still getting the view of it, but it's really just missed it because the stupid headphones were not paired, and then I was like trying to pair them, and it was on a turn. But anyways, we just came over some mountains. We are on 70 East out of Las Cruces, New Mexico. We came up over this mountain, and then there was this valley, like, well, and you can see right out there in the distance. It is a little bit more due east, but Baruk Yahuah, you're getting a view of that mountain instead, so that's really awesome. It looks great. Still waiting for the payment to go through on the unit because they rejected my paperwork saying I did not submit a receipt for my permit. I was a little bit concerned about that receipt because the print was really small and really faint. But I resubmitted it. The only thing I can figure is because I know that I took the picture and that I cropped the corners and did all the things, maybe it got rejected because it was too faint. I don't know. But I tried to resubmit it, and now we're waiting to see. And they sent me an email that is the receipt of the documents, and I opened it up and went to the last page, and it was there and it was legible. So I don't think it's going to be an issue, but we'll see. It's kind of frustrating to get rejected for documentation. It's happened to me now half a dozen times, and it's really gets old. I am doing my best to upload these documents. I'm a detail-oriented person, and I'm trying to jump through all their hoops, you know? So anyway, I have arranged an appointment for the truck to be serviced in Goshen. I'm gonna be trying to call the Dooley Depot. I'm thinking that I'm gonna call the other location and ask if they'll look at the work. Because truth be told, like, I'm concerned about the quality of the work in a lot of ways. I think that I ended up getting a hitch. Instead of just giving me the size, they gave me one with an adapter. And yeah, those adapters do exist, and that is a way that you can do it. But I think that you can also, if you're specialized in outfitting people to pull trailers, you have the larger hitch, you know, that goes on this truck. But not only that, it looks like they assembled it upside down. Yes, it could be assembled that way if a truck was lifted, but the truck is not lifted, so it ends up being too low, and it causes the trailer to squat. And I lift up the trailer all the way, and then I lock in my weight distribution bars, and it does make up some of it. It makes up some of the squatting, but not all. No way. I'm still squatting quite a bit here, and it shouldn't be the case. So there's that. Then my backup camera was only showing the front view and not the back view. And they're like, oh, you have to touch and go into the menu, and you have to change the adjustments, and no, bullshit. You disconnected the connector when you tucked the wire. It's just all about quality of the work. Okay, and then lying to me. The weight distribution bars are supposed to, you're supposed to grease the housing that receives those. That never got greased. My external fuel tank seems to have a gauge that's inaccurate and also possibly leaks. This is like huge stuff, bro. I went in there and dropped thousands of dollars to get this stuff done. I don't appreciate it. There's another Dooley Depot. I'm thinking about calling them and saying, hey, will you guys honor installation that was done at another location, because I'm very displeased with the craftsmanship, and I feel that it should be made right. And I'm just gonna see what they say. The thing is, I don't have time. I don't have time to do all those kinds of things. I can't not do it though. How do you not do it? Right? How do you not address the hitch to be the proper height, or the external fuel tank to be leak tested properly? Like, you can't not. It's just so frustrating, because I need to get another trailer. I need to get to work. So I gotta try to cram everything in and ask the Father to cover me, to give me His favor, that whoever I talk to will be like, oh yeah, no, we can definitely do that. You know, that I can still squeeze in the service appointment, that I can still get the load that He wants me to get, all the things. Bro, for real, there is no chance. There is no HOPE in this life without Yahuah, especially in these last days, because He's removed His restraining hand and He's let the wicked go. Do your worst. Go do your thing. Those people down there have made their choice. Who they fear, who they serve. It's not me. They're given over, right? They're sealed in their right hands and in their foreheads. But may Yahuah still cover His anointed, protect His people. I can't wait to be gathered together with my siblings. I long to be with His people in the renewed earth, and the renewed bodies. To have all this toxicity removed, to be able to really, truly, I don't want to say ENJOY, to really, truly Shamka in Him, in His creation that He had made for His bride. Thus saith the scriptures, Baruk Atah Yahuah. See if I got an email. It was junk mail. I'm just checking to see if I got notified that the payment has gone through. I'm not sure exactly how much it's going to be. 1,400 and something minus like 125, and then subtract the partial payment that they already gave. My heart is kind of broken right now, because I went to get fuel, and yes, it was a great fuel price. Hallelujah. Anthony, Texas had the cheapest fuel that I could find so far. But why did the external tank receive so much gallons? Why? Abba, please help me. All these different things that are going on, I feel are like completely in line with the scriptures too. The wearing out. And they have this word S-A-I-N-T-S, which if you didn't know, is to actually like esteem the dead. Like, that should give you some kind of clue. It's not Qadash to esteem the dead. It's one thing to weep and mourn for people that pass away, but to idolize them, like just like this whole thing with dead presidents, worshiping idols. Or the Roman Catholics have all these S-I-N-T-S. And wherever we found that word in the scriptures, it should be replaced with basically Qadashayam, my righteous peoples. That's why I named the YouTube channel that, because it used to actually be called S-A-I-N-T-S of G-O-D. Because I didn't know better. Anyway, so it is 87 degrees, and it is 12:57 Goshen time. I guess I would just go by that for the rest of this trip. It's telling me that I have 22 and a half hours, so it looks like it is possible to basically do like two complete days and some change. I'm going to be pushing my logbook to the maximum in order to try to make the best possible time. No idea where I'll be sleeping yet. No idea where I'll be stopping for fuel yet. It's not anything planned whatsoever. I'm going to continue to take a look at the load board, because if I do see a reload that's basically moving in the same direction that I'm looking to go, which is, you know, Texas to Indiana, then I will consider picking that up. You know what I mean? It makes a lot more sense to get paid to head on up there. And if that means I have to push back my service appointment a little bit, it could be worth it. I know it's 10% that I'd be saving on the brakes, but, you know, at the end of the day, that might not be enough to justify bobtailing away. So far, there hasn't been a reload that kind of fits what I need. I did see I think a 36-foot fifth wheel going from Goshen to Florida. I think it was paying $1,700. Boy, I wanted to grab that. I wanted to grab that, but I can't. I'm too far away, and I won't be there for so long anyway. Even if I could get a dispatcher to assign it to me, there's no way that I can pick it up in time. So it's okay. Just have to be patient, be a Taub steward, get back into the area, and then Amunah, trust in Yahuah that He gives me the load that He wants me to have. And that's that. I asked the Father to Baruk, the man that received the unit in. He was very kind and favorable to me. I showed him the issue that was with the trailer. He said that he's going to document it, and he would ensure that their service folks check all of the underbelly screws, because, you know, like I had said, like if they missed this one entirely, there may be some other ones that are barely bit any wood or totally missed the wood because they're just, you know, up underneath there with a impact drill or whatever, probably an air powered, and they're just driving those screws all up in there, and you ain't even hitting nothing, bro. So be careful, you know. And those are the kind of things that they find. And then also, you know, he's like, yeah, there's an issue with the hinge on the bathroom door, and then there's an issue with the latch on the cabinet. But see, all that stuff's inside the trailer, don't have nothing to do with me. He wrote no driver damage. And I asked him too, I said, there's people that are going around with rumors saying that you guys are being told that you need to find something, and that if you don't find it, it's because you're not looking hard enough. And he's like, against the driver? And I was like, that's what they're saying. And he's like, no, definitely not. There ain't nobody telling me that. He's like, we just walk around. I'm looking for the stuff on the outside. Driver damage is going to be pretty easy to see. You're going to pretty much spot it right away. But any of the stuff like that you got, that that you told me about, that is totally not on you. And I'm not told to look for something, driver damage, whatever. So just be cautious about who you listen to, man. I see a lot of people saying stuff on Facebook in all these groups. Most of them don't even know what the heck they're talking about, to be totally honest. They really don't. If you talk to somebody who really has experience, then that's one thing. You know what I mean? But, there's horror stories. And yeah, there probably are times that they'll give the benefit of the doubt against the driver. If they see something, like for example, if they see scratches all on the rims, they're likely going to put that on you. So you need to make sure that when you're checking lugs, if you see something like that, you document it, and you take pictures, and you this was like this when I got it. Okay, because otherwise it's not going to go well. And like that, they held things against drivers for windows breaking en route. I think that that's a little bit unfair, because some of those windows are just chintzy, and they shouldn't be putting that kind of stuff in something that's meant to go down highways. But the truth of the matter is that they do, and when you got it, it wasn't broken. So I don't know what to say about that, man. I feel like if that happens to me, I'm gonna hate it, but I'm gonna probably have to eat it. And somebody was talking about going to like hardware store, Walmart, something, and get like a film that you stick on. I mean, okay, dude, if you want to do something like that, you're going to be spending quite a bit of time doing that. And how many times are you going to be spending time and money to do that, and it didn't need to happen? And does that offset the one time that it happens to you? I don't know. I really don't. I know that people talk about how drivers get jammed up for stuff, and that they take it basically out of your escrow money and stuff like that. I think it sucks. I think it's messed up, but I think that it's become more of a story than it needs to be. But again, I could be wrong about that. I mean, they literally could be trying to jam up drivers. There's some kind of government facility right there. High security. That's interesting. I don't know what that is. They've got badges and logos like the Air Force would have. And in some ways, we already are, when you think about it, right? Because we're basically being held to the standards of big truckers in certain ways, with the logbooks and the calm data fueling and that kind of thing. But look at how we can only function within the business hours of the camping world. And it's worse is sometimes it's not even the business hours, it's just the hours that they say that they can receive a trailer or no. Like when I see one that's you only got 3 or 5 hours a day that you receive trailers, that's totally uncool, just for the simple fact that look, we're bringing these units from several states away most of the time. We can't always just hit your little window of 3 hours and 5 hours. I would appreciate it if they would make themselves available to receive the units more within the same hours that you sell an RV. Be willing to receive an RV. How's that? Why not? Now, this is totally separate from RV transport, but you see this, right? You ever notice how when you owe a company money, you have to make it there? It has to get there by this date, or else you're going to get jammed up. But when they go to be like a refund or a reimbursement or something, it could be like allow 5 to 7 weeks or some crazy crap. What kind of double standard? This is the type of thing that it feels like. Yeah, I'll make sure that I employ someone, at my dealership to sell an RV within all these hours. But I don't want to flip the coin up for somebody who's qualified to receive in a unit. And it's not a huge thing, like I'm going to work with it, but it would be cool to see them to extend that kind of favor to us, Like for example, if you're sitting there having to wait for whatever reason, I've sat and waited hours before at a Camping World for them to receive the RV. Now, if a truck shows up and he's got a pallet of generators that they want to sell, or those trail bikes, how long do you think they make him sit there or her sit there and wait to receive those items into their inventory? Exactly. They don't wait. They come right out with the forklift and grab that pallet and send that driver on their way. So how and why is it that we're different? Just help me to understand that. It's the same kind of thing, right? It's weird. I feel like RV transporters don't get any respect. I haven't been doing this that long, but I feel like I've been doing it long enough to speak about that. If I'm passing through a town and they're basically saying there's no overnighting, anywhere in our city, why should we bring any RVs to your city then? What are you trying to do? How are you going to discriminate against the drivers who are bringing that resource to your city, which fuels your economy, does it not? Right? When you do commerce, when you have a dealership that sells RVs in your city, does that benefit your city? You better freaking believe it does. You absolutely better believe it does. Businesses pay taxes to municipalities. Cities benefit financially from having businesses within their jurisdictions. Okay? So if we bring the product to your city and your attitude is like, well, you can't spend the night here anywhere, that's jacked up. We're not homeless people, bro. We're literally working. We're doing work. And it isn't like the company is like, oh, well, we'll put you up in hotels. They don't do that. Look at what we're earning. And that has to cover our fuel, our truck maintenance. If you want to get your truck washed at all, you know what I'm saying? And then what are you gonna if you stay in a hotel, your meals out on the road? We're not getting per diem. What the heck? See, it ain't like that. And honestly, that's part of the reason why the pay is lower than it should actually be, because the cost of the fuel, the cost of the truck maintenance, all those things is pretty high. And I get it. People will be like, well, it's a free country. If you don't want to deliver RVs, then you can stop. Well, we could say that about any job that anybody does, I guess, right? But it's not wrong to try to advocate or speak out for situations where there needs to be improvement or tightening up. That definitely should be the situation. At the end of the day, the bottom line is simple. The people who make the most money in this country are the ones who contribute the most to the beast system, and the ones who actually do the things that help fuel the engine but aren't unclean are the ones who are treated the worst. I used to have this thing that I would say about teachers and police and firefighters, and that they're underappreciated. You know, look at what a teacher does, really, though. They indoctrinate the little image bearer. That teacher probably believes everything that they're instructing to that child, but a lot of that stuff is not even actually true. Right? Just like a law enforcement person might believe that they're protecting the property and the person of just the people, you know, that they serve the people. But really what we're seeing is that they serve the power, the elite, and the money, and that they actually trample on any of the Yahuah given rights of an everyday person. So, what are you gonna say? The more you know, right? There's some white sands over here out my window. Why ain't always gotta be out my window? You don't have no white sands over there. What it is. I was just thinking how cool it would be to have like different cameras, so like different camera angles or something. But this ain't no TV program. Baruk Atah. You still got just an incredible view out there. Look at those clouds. Yeah, for real, bro. It's straight up white sands right here. That is the trip. I'm starting to see a little bit of white sand showing up on your side there. Maybe we'll start to see some more. The speed limit's dropping down to 55. Let me check and see what's going on the map. So no town name. I gotta slow down. Heck, we're going to 45. I'm gonna really be slowing down. One thing I don't like to play around with at all, because I don't need to just give a reason to be stopped. You know what I'm saying? Heck, now we're going to 35. What is up here? So I'm not seeing a town name. Oh, I think that's my baby. So they got an inspection thing. Do I have to go through this? Oh, dude, I'm keeping the camera on. It's looking like it's going to be forcing me into this, and I don't know what the heck this even is. All vehicles stop ahead. Very interesting. Bro, this is crazy. I'm going to switch the camera so that it's facing me. 1 second. Dim lights. Why I gotta dim my lights? U.S. Customs and Border Patrol. Border checkpoint. New Mexico. Hola. ¿Qué pasó? Thank you, you too. Yeah, just like that, she straight up tells me, have a great day. Dang, I even greeted her in Spanish. She's like, that's not real Spanish. Gringo. Oh. She's like, yeah, I can tell you're born in Texas. Get out of here. I'm only kidding. I have no idea. Like, what? That was wild, bro. Like, all right. Can you see the white sands? No, see, you can't see anything because it's just like all bright. Yeah, because to focus the camera, whatever. All right, 65. I'm gonna stop the camera, flip it around. And then I'm gonna probably also stop the camera so I can go see what my baby's saying. It's interesting. What's this little community right here? Little White Sands National Park. Oh, it's another cool rest area in New Mexico, man. I gotta give y'all props. Y'all doing a great job with your rest areas. Baruk Yahuah. Alright. So I'm not sure. It looks like the first thing that's coming up is an Air Force base. And it is called HOLLO. So like Holloman Air Force Base. That's where we're at. We're on US 70 East. Bro, it is vast and flat out here. Vast and flat. I can see mountains way off in the distance. To what would be, I guess, my west. And then northeast there's mountains. And you got a couple little things back in the distance on your side as well. It's everywhere all the way around us. For real. Like to the south I also see some pretty large mountains. Baruk Atah. So for now, my Shah is just sending me some love. She's probably doing all the things that she needs to do. Get a few things in order for her day over there. So Halal Yahuah. So let me read this sign. You are now leaving White Sands missile range. Whoo! Aha! That's what that was all about. Dang, dude. So yeah, White Sands, New Mexico. That was like a for real. We must have just only kind of been on the edge of it though, because it wasn't for like a really long time or nothing like that. There's a CMEX plant right there. Sally Walker Quarry. I see fighter jets because we're near the Air Force Base. There goes one right there flying a sortie. I'm used to that because I grew up on military bases. That looks like an F-16 for real. There's some White Sands over there on my driver's side, along with a New Mexico Highway Patrol or State Trooper, one or the other. I don't know their markings on their vehicles that well. Dangle, man, I'll tell you what. That U.S. Border Custom Control place, they got those girls over there with guns looking like they're in the army. I mean, I don't know. I got my very back window is covered, and my two back cab windows are covered. So how would you have any idea what's there? No, didn't care. No peeking, no looking, no nothing. Just have a great day. You tell me, bro. I could probably fit, 4 or 5 folks back in there, and you didn't even look. So whatever. And now, once I get out here past that, ain't nothing stopped me from going all the way to wherever. The whole thing's a freaking crazy joke anyways, because it's talking about how they just let people fly wherever they want to go. Where you want to go? Chicago. Oh, okay. Off to Chicago they go. Where you want to go? New York City. Boom. There you go. And coming from all over, and there's so much misinformation, disinformation, I'm intentionally bringing about this overload of information so no one can know what to trust or whatever, and then that brings in the chaos, the spirit of chaos and lawlessness and disorder that ultimately will lead to violence. When these people start to become triggered, when when they start to become filled with fear. And when I say these people, I'm talking about the reprobate mind. I don't give a darn where you're from, what tongue you speak, what color your vessel is. I ain't talking about any of that. I'm talking about the Ruach, the spirit that's in the person. Wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, dominions. All that is what I'm talking about. See what I'm saying? So this is Halaman Air Force Base. That's interesting how they have the gate. They have almost like two gate type of thing going on. I gotta get around this slow moving truck. Oh, I remember you from all the way back in Los Cruces. Where are you going? You coming in my lane now? What are you doing, bro? You drunk? What's going on there? Solid signal systems? Dang, dude, that was crazy. Yeah, I played, took turns passing each other back there. He's like, I'm going fast. Now I'm going slow. And I'm saying, I'm going the same speed. What are you doing? That's how it is. There's a bunch of RVs right there on the Air Force Base. I'm an Air Force Base. I got 6.5 miles to go until I get to another road, which is 54 north. And we'll start making our way north. That's basically what we're doing is going north and east. North and east. I'm not sure if it's ultimately the best route. They said it was the fastest route, and I said, okie dokie. As long as you don't take me too close to Chicago, I'm all right. I'm not doing that. I'm not going there. I discerned so much in my spirit when I got near Chicago. It's like physically overwhelming. It's like nausea and like just overwhelming feeling. May Abba make me stronger, because I didn't want nothing to do with that noise. These billboards for medicinal marijuana. You see all these other businesses shut down, out of business, but that sucker's up and running. Those suckers are doing great, right? Record profits and all. Crazy. Why is the speed limit 60 here, boss? There's a dust devil up ahead, probably around 10 o'clock from my current heading. I wonder if it's gonna fade away, or if we're gonna, because they don't last like a long time. I'm sure it's gonna end up passing. But if you keep your eye out there in the distance, you'll probably see something. See, look at this, man. That place got half burnt down. There's a couple abandoned buildings over here on this side right here. One of them looks like it used to actually be a pretty lovely house. You know, crazy. JOY Center. I talked about this in some of the earlier videos. I don't remember everything, but it's literally like a type of, like a feeling that comes over you, overwhelms you, overpowers you, but it's also like almost like a sexual type. You need to look in the etymology of these words. That's why I don't like to say that word. And the Ruach of Yahuah, don't do that. That's that Holika. Holika. Tongue out. Rolling around the ground, barking like a dog, being overcome. Feeling all like, yeah. satisfied and all that. It's unclean, family. Dang, look at these places, bro. This is economic poverty. This is facts, dude. It's real. Better freaking wake up. You know how many people think that everything's like great and better than ever and all this stuff? Y'all in a strong delusion. Some seriously strong delusion. A lot of these places are struggling. Look at that. They live in that. They're living in that class A. You see the door open with the dog out? Hi, puppy. Hello, puppy. Let's see if I can get over. I got 2 miles until I'm supposed to turn onto that. What did I say it was? 54 North is what they call it. See how long some of these places remain up and running. May they, you know. Some businesses right there. There's a very large like RV park, mobile home park over there, and it actually looks like, you know, it ain't all dilapidated and run down and broken down. It's those folks that are staying over there look like they're probably got quite a bit of money and whatnot. Maybe retired, I don't know. You know what, that could be affiliated with the Air Force Base too, I guess. Oh dang, look at this place. Dang old man, I'll tell you what, that dang old dollar. RV auto repair. 1 mile. Hit this green light. Qadashayam, Baruk Yahuah. Hallelujah. Another little RV park or whatever, but they all look like they all look the same. This is true. Heavy duty truck parts, Liberty motorcycles. Here we go. 54 North. Okay, so I gotta go past the light, and then it'll be our turn. Crazy billboard right there. Hail Zeus is not God Re'al. I'm translating it for understanding. Hail Zeus did not pre-exist in the Shemayim. So this is kind of weird. I exit right here. Oh, then I go to the light and turn. Yes. Oh, okay. Yahusha is Yahuah. Yahusha comes in the name of Yah, right? Comes in the name of the Father. Yah, great I am. Ooh, is or adds. Breath. The great I am is the Creator. That's what the Father's name means. I am the Creator. Yahusha. Yah, the great I am, is, adds, Shah, deliverance. I am your deliverer. I am the deliverer. There is no other deliverer besides me. That's scripture. Alright, so I gotta go 4.5 miles and stay on 4.5 miles, 254 east. Stay on 54 to stay on 54. thanks that I don't have a trailer for that. Dang, dude, up and down and up and down. That's a really checkered up road so far. Alright. And yes, I do, baby. If you're watching, I hear your messages. I'm just trying to get to a safe place to check them. I got 4 miles until I need to turn, so I'm going to try to look at what you sent me so far. Oh, it's a reel, and along with a comment. I think she would not mind me sharing on that one, because she said that it makes her think of 5 eyes. That's a very interesting thing I haven't talked about in a while. Let's actually hold off, because I got 3 miles. I need to make sure that I don't miss a turn or anything. I've done that a few times out here working this job. And I hate having to like double back or U-turn or whatever. Dang, dude, you guys see that building out there all burned up? Look at how rough this is, bro. I'm telling you, man, poverty. Look at that. You see it, right? Man, tell me you see it. Crazy. I didn't even realize that all that was out there, and I looked and I'm like, whoa. Look at this. What's going on there? They living in those RVs or what? Most of the time, they are. There's a bunch of trailers on this side, looking really rough. I have seen some of the worst in New Mexico, for real. I'm telling you what I observe, okay? This ain't like I'm not some kind of economist. I'm just a real brother who's out here looking with his own eyes at what I'm seeing. And I wish you could see that right there that I'm nodding my head towards out my window. Oh, I always feel when I have to, like, I hear my phone going bing, 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 and I can't check it right away, I start to feel like really anxious about it. It's a struggle. It's a struggle. Okay, so 1.4. See, now it's saying 70 East North White Sands. I don't know what any of that means. I don't want to make a mistake out here. But it looks like I'm going to go to the second light and turn left on whatever they're calling that road. Looks like it's got 3 different names. Freaking weird. 54 East / 70 East / White Sands. I don't know. Road, Boulevard, Avenue, whatever. Doesn't really tell me. Hey, there's Mesa Verde Ranch Road. That's pretty trippy. I remember staying when I was in Cortez. It was Mesa Verde National Park. Pretty cool. Alright. 45 miles an hour, less than 1 mile, turning left. I'm gonna get to you as quick as I can, Mama Bear. Really curious to see what she sent me to about 5 eyes. 5 eyes is an interesting thing. It's like, well, I'm not allowed to spy on my own people, like technically by our own laws of the land. But, oh, and you're not technically allowed to spy on your own people either. You know, Australia, Britain, whoever these 5 agencies are, 5 nations that enter into this agreement together are. But I'll tell you what, I'll keep an eye on your people and let you know, and you keep an eye on my people and let me know. It's a workaround. It's kings of the earth conspiring together. Basically, that's what it is. Yeah, but it's like legit and documented and everything. Like That's something that always trips me out. Like, why would you sit there and like document evidence against your own self, or say it publicly or whatever? But that's what they always do. That goes back to this understanding that somehow they're required to say it. So whatever their little karma thing or whatever. Well, we told you, but you didn't listen. Well, we told you, but you didn't believe it. So now, you know, you're going to suffer for your lack of diligence. Okay, so now I got 9 miles to continue on this road, which is 45. I'm not sure why. This guy's basically like a hot shotter, but he's got these lights on flashing in everybody's face. I mean, what is it? What is it exactly that... I mean, yeah, you got a DOT number and all that, but you're CCI, and I don't know why you're... It's weird. Whatever. Get distracted. Let me see what my baby said. Do you have a route? Do you need helps? So I don't really have like a route planned. I got a filled coffee cup and my filled fuel tanks, and I put in the Transport Protect, and I'm on my way. And I'm just following the navigator. But where I ultimately bed down, I don't know yet. And that's all right, you know. And I'm okay for right now. I think it's probably a little early to try to like make a route, because it said 22 and a half hours. I really wanted to try to maximize my 11 hours a day and see if it's possible to get there, you know, I guess as early as possible. But for the Shabbat day, I think it's going to be really important for me to have some kind of a place. Dang, now I'm wondering if I should try to find like a cheap room for that day. Maybe I should. And I'm gonna try to play your Five Eyes video now. I hadn't had a chance because I'm getting, this is a part where it has me turn here, like that. Okay, 7 miles, continue. See, man, dang, look at that. There's another RV park. Like, whatever it was, maybe like 5 years ago when we first moved to Washington, I was talking to this guy that owns a RV kind of renovation, repair. He's kind of specialized, I guess, in a way, because a lot of those are like, he'll get people that bring in like old, used, damaged RVs and just completely restores them. So it's called Custom Cascade Coach, or Cascade Custom Coach, or some such thing. And I was trying to talk to him about getting a job there, because I wanted to get hired on and kind of learn how to repair RVs. But I think ultimately it was, you know, wanting to pay practically peanuts, and so I couldn't do it, which kind of sucks. But anyway, he was telling me when we were talking in the quote-unquote interview or whatever, he's however many years, 15 years or 20 years of doing this, no matter what state the economy was in, he always did well, because when the economy is great, people want RVs to go camping, and when the economy is not great, people want RVs to actually live in. And I'm seeing a lot of people living in RVs right now. So that's what I'm seeing. I don't know. I could be wrong. This is, again, just my witness. And some of these folks actually stay in this park for 6 months, and then they go to another park for 6 months. They just park hop, because apparently, you know, they have like requirements that you can't stay in the same one for longer period of time than that. It's all crazy, dude. Some red sands over here in this area. But yeah, there's a bunch of folks living in them over on this side. Now we're back to some more on that side. See, some people live there, bro. Look. Look. I'm seeing it all over everywhere I go out here, so. And even if somebody has like a piece of land like this, and maybe they've been on it for generations, and they inherited it, but look how rough it looks. And sometimes they're farms. See, people live in those. Look at that. Sometimes they're farms, like even right by where I'm at. I'm not sure what's up with this bus. It's like pushing me hard. Driving with this signal on. So just so everyone knows, I'm going 7 over. And here he comes, pushing me. Buses like that require a lot of money. Whatever community he's serving. OmnibusExpress.com, bus number 6721. Going about 74 to 60, but who cares, right? It's a land of lawlessness. Let's see what this Five Eyes video is all about.
The United States is now investigating solar panels from China after rogue communication devices were found in them. The issue raises some bigger questions as well, going back more than a decade of suspicious Chinese parts and components in everything from our warplanes to our missile defense system. And nobody's talking about this. And actually, look, the finding with the solar panels, it's just one of many similar findings coming about. For example, even now, Congress recently issued a warning for Americans to stop using TP-Link routers, which are made in China. They're also the highest selling routers in the United States. Most people have them.
Wow.
And to stop using any China-made routers for that point, meaning the CCP could access your internet connection. They could watch everything you're doing, your banking data, your personal data, anything you put on your computer.
It just cracks me up, right? CCP, the boogeyman, ooh. You know, especially the MAGA folks. The truth is that your own government that you trust is already that boogeyman, bro. You don't, you know what I'm saying? So, anyway, and I talk about this a lot, right? Psalms 2, the kings of the earth conspire together to make war against Yahuah, Yahusha, and his bride. And his bride, which the bride part, I think you got to either go to Psalm 83 or Psalm 85. I don't recall it directly off the top of my head, but I have talked about this. I have done videos about this, and you'll be able to find it if you're seeking it out. They actually share in the conspiracy that the earth is not a ball, that history is a lie, that nobody walked on the moon, like all these things. They know. Anyway, I got like a mile before I need to turn, so I'm gonna be switching back to my mapping system for a sec here. I'm supposed to be going a little bit slower than I am. Let me also decrease my speed. Hey, this is a rough looking little community too right here. Just being honest. Look at that. Look at that little. Look at, dang, bro. Look at that. See, I'm oftentimes amazed, right? People live in a bubble and they have this idea of what the U.S. is, what America is, what middle class is, whatever. And, you know, especially the people who have everything. They're not the rich and famous, but they got plenty, bro. They got retirement funds, they go on vacations, they got investments. If they want to go trade their car in and get another car today, they'll just do it. Okay? This is like my parents And most of the people I grew up around they weren't like this when they were younger. They struggled to get there, but then they got there and that's where they are. You know what I mean? And so what's their worldview like? It's, you know, I don't know. Just, I see like stuff like that everywhere I go. So where am I supposed to turn? Oh, okay, that big old bus that I saw earlier is going to where I need to go. And they got a bunch of peppers at that place. I'd probably be a pretty Qadash place to buy some peppers. I hope they're not using GMO seeds. But they probably are. There's a service station that's all shut down. Dilapidated trailer park over here on my side. I don't know what that is. Those are apartments. Pretty rough. So, hey, look at this. We got 122 miles. So now, you know, I'm going to be on the same road for a hot minute. Let's go back and let dude finish whatever he was saying. You know.
Computer, they get it. Now, this is over the same concerns that they have vulnerabilities that can let the CCP hackers gain access to them. Do you do your taxes over the internet? Well, that's also concerning. Congress right now is even weighing in whether Chinese routers should be banned altogether in the United States.
And so, let me just say, my Yahusha is like nailing it with the Five Eyes thing. Because the thing is, if they're like, oh, it has this feature, and then it's a backdoor for the CCP, it's also like, China's like, we're going to produce products that we're going to sell in your economy that will allow you to backdoor in to surveil your own citizenry. Or you might not do it, but England can, and then they can tell you, like, so why are they coming out and telling us all these things? That's part of the issue, right? Dang, bro, look at these areas. These areas are hard hit, man. Look at that. It's on both sides of the road, and it's for real. And I think that there's a lot of First Nations people, right? So, yeah, she's totally nailing it. And then you know, oh, this is the bad guy. Oh, this is the bad guy. Oh, we need to stop these people. Oh, they need to stop us, right? No, so nobody actually stops and looks at their own heads of their own mentality, mind, govern, control, regulate, restrict your mind, control your mind. This tells you, right, what it means. People don't know this, and people can't see this, and people don't believe me, but I'm telling you the truth, right? So yeah, I would say that another thing I've said before, people are always like, oh, don't get this app, don't get that app. It spies on you, this and that. You need to understand that the camera and the microphone and the device is able to work and do those things. It doesn't even matter about the applications. They're able to do it when it's off. You can't just take the battery out of these phones, most of them anymore anyway. And even if you do, there's backup power. It's just, you need to realize, if you have a device on you, near you, whatever, then just know that they can basically hear and say whatever you're saying, and then you think that they don't care or wouldn't bother. I used to be that way. I'd be like, a big brother's paying attention to me? They got a lot more important things to worry about than just me. That is totally not the point. That is so missing the point. Because, hang on one second. Because the way that it works is like an algorithm that can scan and sort through mounds and mounds and mounds of data and information just looking for keyword. And they know who Yashar'Al is. I believe they know. Okay? That doesn't mean that they just drop everything and come round you up. But it does mean that you are monitored, tracked, and everything like closer, right? And if you get a new device, they know. And if it connects to your IP address, they know. And all this stuff. Don't be naive about this stuff. Why is this freaking guy? This guy's an actor. These people that are on the news or whatever, they're put there. They're positioned there. They're not sharing some information with you that's like truth to power or whatever. And whatever they're revealing is what they want the masses to know. Anyway, how pretty are those mountains, man? Look at those swirling colors, the strata layers that are in that mountain right there. That is unreal. Baruk Yahuah. Baruk Yahuah. I might let the guy finish, but I think it's important that we cut through and get to the meat of the matter. This guy ain't for you. And these people that you're putting your trust in ain't for you neither. You better get right with Abba Yahuah, and that's his name, and it matters.
The States, and that's a big deal. And Chinese tech companies overall, well, they seem to also delve into these problems quite often. Just as another example, Tencent, you might have heard of it. It owns a huge part of the video game market. They also run an anti-cheat gaming software that has almost full access to your computer if you dare install one of their video games, which happens to be most.
See, there you go. He went right on to say it. If you install one of their video games, that don't matter. It's the hardware. All their stuff is already there. Whatever they need, it comes pre-installed. You've already let the demon into your house. Facts. And keep on playing around with that AI, fool. Go ahead and ask it to tell you the truth about JESUS and stuff like that. How is it not a Ouija board? It's the same thing. I just wanted to make sure to stop that video and switch to this one and save it, because my stuff will just turn off and disappear for real. Yeah, it happens. My phone was doing something really weird last night too. I got to the scenic overlook and I was gonna go grab a video showing the rest area and stuff, and my phone would not work. Like it was not my phone, sorry. My camera would not work, like it was bricked out. Like I could open it, but I couldn't toggle from phone to video. I couldn't take a picture. I couldn't initiate anything. I couldn't, like it was just, and it had a little dot next to the icon, and then there was a drop down that said it was performing a function, and I was Googling these functions, and they have all kinds of extra stuff built into the cameras now. I say now, it might have been for a while, I just didn't know about it, but this is a new phone, right? The phone that I've been using to do all these narrow path videos is new. I've had videos disappear. I've had the camera just turn off on me. And now last night I had where all of a sudden the camera wouldn't even work. There's mile marker 88. I just so happened to see that, really. Abba keeps showing me that. I think it has to do with Trump. He is a big player in their plan. Okay? She's the Golden Dawn. Ain't nobody in their right mind craps on a toilet made out of gold, bro. Come on. Give me a break. Give me a break. Anyway. There's this one that they worship, they call Janus. That's where January comes from. That's where New Year's resolutions comes from and all that, right? It's two-faced. And so it's kind of like the Two-Face from Batman, right? So, what was that guy, Ben Carlson? He's a brain surgeon that was like a politician too. Like this, it's not just organic. These people are positioned and put into these places where they would never be there. Make no mistake about it. It's very controlled. And he was like, yeah, there's 2 Donald Trumps. Well, exactly, right? And so all the folks, think about all the folks that are putting their HOPE, FAITH, and TRUST in Trump. What are they going to do when they see the other side? They're going to have a mind break. They're going to be MK Ultra on a worldwide level. Mind break. I've been saying this for a while. It's whatever you want to call it, my theory. You know, and it's the same thing too with the United States of America, because a lot of the nations in the world have been receiving like U.S. aid. They get medicine and food and all these things from the United States of America, and they become reliant on it, and they feel like it's always going to be there. So just like a child, an infant, a toddler is, you know, feeding off of their mother's breast, and they have a connection with the mother that comes through the breastfeeding and everything else like this, and it's all like comforting and everything. And so what happens when that secure protector, provider, everything else turns on them suddenly, like in the movies like Bambi and Dumbo, where they show you MK Ultra stuff in Disney cartoons, is how they develop like the split personality and stuff like this. Okay, so now what happens when all of that breast milk that the United States government was giving to all these third world countries stops? Same thing. Same kind of thing that happens when a huge percentage of the patriots, which comes from compatriot, which is a fellow, like a brother in arms. Okay, so when they say that this one is a genius and a patriot, a genius comes from the word jinn, which is a genie or a demon, right? So they're saying that they're fellow wicked Ruach Ha'Qadash. People give themselves over to serve these spirits to receive fame and fortune. Okay, so they're kindred spirits. I'm telling you the truth. I know you probably can't perceive it, but it's what it is. It is what it is. Baruk Yahuah. I feel like that's going to need to be preserved as well, so I'm going to go ahead and start up another one. Just 1 second. Some of that information is information that I've shared before, but you know, Abba stirs me up and I'm going to start speaking on it. All right. How much longer? I don't know. Not much. I don't know it exactly. I can just discern the season, look at them, examine the fig leaves, you know, examine the fig tree and discern what season it is. I've already speculated something around September of 2026. So we'll see. I really don't want to get into naming dates and things like that. I'm just trying to warn and trying to like help people to understand, especially like stuff like etymology, like really let you know, like masters of doublespeak. I thought Obama was like next level, like wow. And then I see some of the stuff that the Golden Dawn does. It's incredible. You have to understand what the meanings of the words are. The people hear one thing, but but they're actually saying something else. And when they tell the people exactly what's going on and they applaud and cheer, it just shows you like, wow, they have no idea. And the thing is, like, they can say, no, we told them, right? We told them exactly what was going on. I told them I was a strong demon, right? So I trip out when I listen to him talk now, because I'm like, how much of that, what does that really mean? What is he really saying? What are these calms that they're dropping each other? And so it's wild, bro. Like, it's a thing. I love you, my honey, my baby. Mwah. So I got a couple emails. I need to check and see if any of these are... Oh, there you go. Baruk Yahuah. Three Rivers Trading Post. Aw. That's cool. How is that a way station? Like, how is that? I don't have a trailer, so I'm not concerned about it, but like, there's nothing there. There was a cutout in the road for you to go over to a way station, and there's nothing there. It's so weird. So the what am I trying to say? Help me with words, Abba. The rest of the payment for my load went through Baruk Yahuah. $724. So the $724 plus the $660, whatever that comes to, that's what they paid minus the escrow. So now on my next load, I don't believe that I'm going to be having any of the 10% withheld now. So, Baruk Yahuah. Which, if you think about it, I guess that means that I've earned $15,000 at least, maybe just a little bit more. But then from that, you got to figure almost half of that, which is so shouldn't be the case. Half for fuel? Yeah, pretty much. So that's $7,500, and then how much of that is truck maintenance, right? And how much am I supposed to have? Ooh-wee. Bro, why are you going so slow? How much am I supposed to have put into savings, right? Is it 20% of the net or 20% of the gross? I don't know. I'm not going to be able to pass you. There's a big old truck coming. Why are you going so slow, FedEx? Are you always like that? And why are you hugging the center lane, dude? Let me look around you. Can't like this. By the time I get a chance, my passing lane's gonna be over. Oh, dude. Hold on, family, we're going for it. See, as like a professional courtesy, if you're really not able to go, the speed limit or what have you, and you see somebody's wanting to get past you like that, why not slow down a little and hug the right when you see them making their pass attempt, just to, for safety's sake. It ain't gonna cost you that much. If you slow slowed down, you know, like 5 or 10 miles an hour for a few minutes, is that going to really make me? No. I mean, I would just do that, but I don't know what it is. Like, it's kind of like that thing with the elevators. I like to give this example. When you go to enter into an elevator, stand by a little bit to the side and let the folks who are on there exit first. What do they call that? A pet peeve. I hate that little saying anyway. It frustrates me when I see people trying to barge their way on and there's still people that need to get off. You know what I mean? There should be an order of operations. Let them get out of the way first and then get in. And this is how you see people. This is how you see people. They don't have courtesy for their fellow man. Lovers of themselves. Hearts that have drunk cold. Their attitude is like, I don't really care if that puts anybody out or anything like that. I gotta look out for number one. Dog eat dog and all that other kind of thing. That's literally their belief. And even when they do something for someone, they're doing it for selfish reasons. Like, how's this gonna make me look? Or what might I get out of it later? Crap like that. Anyways, here I go again. 21 hours is what it shows that I have remaining. And let's just see, curiosity, how much time I have on my log. So I have 5 hours, no, I'm sorry, I'll just call it 6 because it says 5:52. So 6 hours, I have to get a break in, 30 minutes worth of a break. So once I log my 30-minute break, which I'll most likely do when I stop for fuel and whatnot, grab a little something to eat. But total I have 8 hours and 22 minutes. Driving. Oh, you know what it is? Dang it. It's because in 8 hours it'll be, no. It's only 2:10. Oh, that's legit how much time I have. So I'm not gonna run out of, what I thought I was gonna run out of was like my 24 hours in a day type of clock. Because that's another thing that's messed me up before. Like, I could still have 2 hours of drive time left, but it's midnight, so then I'm like, well, what about my 2 hours? I'm on my 2 hours. You know what I mean? So I've had that mess me up before. I'm not sure how to deal with that. I think that might have something to do with split clocks, but I'm not sure. And then you have to have a DOT certified sleeper in order to utilize split clocks. So that would be like you drive for a certain amount of time, then you rest, and then you drive again. I don't know. So 8 hours, but I also need to make sure that I do my break. So we're on this road for 96 more miles. Okay. But it actually, it's funny because it says that thing where it's like, stay on 54 east for 95 miles to 54 east. So it's obviously more than 95, but I have no idea how much more. So just for the record, I hate that. I wish that you guys did not do that, but you do. So there's Interstate 40 some distance up ahead, but I don't know how that's going to work out. So now I have to decide, am am I going to keep the camera on and listen to the news a little bit and talk about it? Or will I just spare you guys that? And let's just end for now. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just end for now. And then I'll be back. If I'm led to speak on something, I will. Or if I see something that, you know, I want to share, like the beauty of, I will. The funny thing is, like, sometimes, like, I don't even know what state I'm in. I feel like that's kind of, I mean, I own it because I'm not trying to hide nothing. I should know what state I'm in, right? That's my opinion. I should know, but sometimes I don't. And I haven't seen anything that told me that I left New Mexico yet. So there's Oscuro bombing range. Here's another, like, poverty-stricken. It's rough, bro. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know how people live in the conditions they live in, but you know, you think that that doesn't exist here, but it does. So yeah, I'm definitely still in New Mexico. And it looks like I'm gonna go into, like, Oklahoma. Maybe just, I'm gonna go a little bit through the panhandle part of Texas and then Oklahoma. So yeah, man, I'm just gonna jump off of here for a bit and then be back soon, Abba willing. Baruk Yahuah. Hallelujah. It's telling me that I'm allowed to pass right there, but it's not really it's just not a safe place to pass because it's on a turn. But they have it with the, what you call that, hash marks? Dude, I can't like anything about this, bro. I can't see beyond the truck because we're turning, like a long sweeping turn. Now it says do not pass, and the road's probably gonna go straight. It's alright, big guy. Don't worry. You just keep your truck straight. I'm not a threat to you. No threat to you. Now this is a long straightaway, but it's a double line. And then here it goes. It's opening up a passing opportunity. Oh, a passing. Sometimes I like to let the truck breathe a little too. Are you guys like that? Anybody that drives big trucks or diesels or whatever, like, I feel like it's well for the turbo to wind up. You know, I actually feel that the towing is healthy for the truck too. It's just as long as it's not too heavy or too steep or too fast, like, you know. But these trucks are made to work. They're meant to work. And I wish that the government would not restrict them with all the emission stuff. But I'm sure that you agree with me there too. And that's also an interesting topic to look into and discuss, because apparently they're going to just backdate all that stuff and make it all null and void. And I'm wondering, I would say, like, somebody like John Deere gonna come out with a 10-liter diesel engine that they would sell directly to truck manufacturers. I could be totally wrong, but I think they've been sitting on such blueprints for a while. So we'll see. But whatever U.S. truck manufacturer comes out with the first non-emission, just let your horses run wild, they're going to sell like you ain't never seen. And if you know, and they probably will try to market that and sell it into other nations too. And yep, That's what I think we're going to see. See these shipping containers? Go read about the merchants of the earth in your Bible. And just like that, we were going 45. Alright guys, I'll be back with you, Abba willing, soon. Shalom. Shalom, Mashpaka. So, Baruk Atah Yahuah, a neighbor, he actually came by and took a look at the generator and found that it was something that needs to be serviced. It wasn't like something that it could just be simply fixed, at least according to his diagnosis. But he lent us his generator, which he came over and he and Yahusha tested it and everything was working. So Baruk Atah Yahuah, thank you so much, Father, for him. Please Barak him and his Yahusha for helping us, for their kindness to your servant and my house, Baruk Yahuah. Apparently they're planning on taking it down on another date, which is August 8th, which I don't like that, so I'm not superstitious or into numerology or what have you, but I know that the enemy is, and that it's significant to them. And there's that 88 again. It's pretty interesting because I even just mentioned mile marker 88 earlier and started talking about Trump. And it's just very, very wild. And guess what? I was listening to the news and it said 88 Palestinians died today. Wow. Because make no mistake, they speak in the same kind of columns even on Al Jazeera. So like both sides of the news, right, are playing us. Anyway, I want to just give thanks and recognition to the Father for answered halals about the generator situation for both the 31st of July and the 8th of August. And we'll figure out what's going on with the other one sometime soon. I also had a really great conversation with a veteran RV transporter. Even with my limited understanding of the whole world of RV transport, I'd almost have to consider him kind of like an all-star. He works part-time at the Dooley Depot in Elkhart, and he gave me a lot of great information. He said he was going to call me back as well, so he probably will call me tomorrow. It was really an honor to speak to him, to hear his wisdom. He was a man who was involved in forming the first company that birthed Wave, or the company that I'm with now. So, yeah, hallelujah. You know, and a lot of the mystery about the fuel tank, the auxiliary tank, I feel like I got information that helps me to understand a little bit of what I was doing wrong, which the main thing I was doing wrong was topping it completely off all the way to the tippy top, which wasn't leaving any room for any kind of like expansion. Whether or not that led to any leaks, I don't know, but it makes sense to not push it too far. But also the tank it's a very large capacity, 95 gallons, but it's an L-shaped tank because there's a toolbox built in. So the very tippy top portion, maybe even like a third of the tank, has a very small volume I should say third of the height, or even third of the gauge, because it's a float gauge. So the float gauge doesn't know how to differentiate between the volume of the top part of the L and the bottom part of the L. The bottom part of the L has a huge amount of volume compared to the top, which just has that limited little section. Does that make sense? So when you utilize fuel from the L-shaped tank, the float gauge is going to drop kind of quickly in the beginning, and then it's going to take a long time to drop later. And it fits, because I was even telling my shop, like, I pump for 20 minutes and it goes down to like around half, and then the next 20 minutes it seems like it only drops a quarter from there, and then the next 20 minutes it seems like it's only dropping a quarter from there. So that, I think, is what's going on there. And then there's other issues too, like the Chevy GMC fuel gauge not responding quite as normal as the other trucks. And Dodge has its quirks too, but with the Chevy, he said, you know, just run it down to like a half, and then I'm just gonna pump it for 7 minutes. And the next time the gauge shows a half, I'll just pump 7 minutes. And I'm just gonna keep doing that. And I'm not gonna necessarily worry about the percentage that the gauge on the tank in the back drops. I'll just use that gauge to let me know when the tank is like near to empty. Because then I'm gonna probably, like, I don't wanna pump it dry and then have to prime the filter and all that. So yeah, I feel great about that. He also said that my trailer ball should be, I think it was either between 20 and 22 inches, you know, from the ground. Also learned how you can look at the A-frame, and you can also look at the weight distribution bar to see if there's a gap. I'm sorry, not if there's a gap, but if the gap has any, if it's unequal. In other words, there should be a gap, and the front and rear of it, when you get down and look at it from a side view, should be equal. So the weight distribution bars and the A-frame should be equal as far as the gap. So I'll start trying to pay closer attention to that. I'll measure the top of the ball, see what that comes in at. And if it comes in under, which I suspect that it will, then I can take it in there and they'll take care of it, because they'll honor the work of the other shop. I also learned that the Wakarusa lounge at the yard has showers that are free to the drivers. They have laundry, they have Wi-Fi, they have coffee, they have things that they offer to the drivers. I heard about this in the very, very, very beginning, but I had forgotten. Okay, so I want to try to take advantage of that, because if I can go there, do laundry, take a shower, even if I can have access to Wi-Fi, like those things, if there's like a comfy couch that I can grab somewhere and not, you know, not feel like disturbed, like maybe I want to just have a call with my house on Shabbat. So I might try to go there and see how it goes to do the Shabbat there. The only thing that I have a concern about is running power to my jackery. But I might look into that too, because even if I can get an extension cord and plug it in, it'll keep the fridge going the whole time, even if it's hot, doesn't matter. You just need to make sure that the jackery doesn't lose its charge. So yeah, I may have to go look into that. And if I don't have an extension cord in my toolbox, I need to get one. You know, especially if I find that there is an outlet there. Bro, that's all day, every day. That's a solution for me that I've really been needing. Because like Yahusha said, I can't. She's like, we need the money. You need to stay out there. You can't just come home. You know, because they're going to take the power down. Like she took care of business. Like, great job, honey. She got that, a lot of the things to do with the generator and everything. She's getting it squared away and taking care of it. You know, we still have a few more things to work on, but we're going to do that together, and we have time. So Halal Yahuah. I went all the way through New Mexico. I'm coming through the northernest part of Texas right now. Came through Amarillo, and very, very close to a town called Ola, half Texas, half OLA, Oklahoma, maybe? Texas, Oklahoma? I don't know. That's kind of what I think. But I have about 2 hours to get to my destination, and it's close with my log as well, so it looks like it's going to be pretty much perfect. And then I'll have to reassess and see how far it is for me to get to to the Wakarusa yard, because I need to try to get there before the sun rise on Wednesday. That's pretty much what the goal is. You know, I feel like if I get to this Flying J, I have an option to take a shower, but the most important thing that I need to make sure that I do is log my 10 hours off duty, so that I can get my complete 11 hours of driving the next day. And if I drive 11 hours and it's not quite enough, then I need to get 10 more hours so I can go that last bit. And it's difficult for me to like calculate how that's going to work with the sunrise. Yo, what are you doing, dude? Hello? Dude, pay attention, bro. You can't just... These truck drivers these days, I don't know where they get their license from. They're not skilled. These guys are not skilled. I'm seeing a bunch of them. He just turned on his signal and almost came right in front of me. Come on, bro. Like, pay attention. There's been two earlier going back that would come over to pass, but they would take forever, and they would just stay out there, and they're causing big old backup and all kinds of problems. You know, it's not the way. Ain't nobody trying to die out here. I'd be driving that big old truck right into me. You know what I'm saying? You can't just turn your signal and then jump right over. You never even checked. You gotta clear your lane. Alright, so that looks like I just crossed the border. Did I miss the sign? I don't know. I'm not sure that I see the sign. There's a reason that I'm not in that lane, because this is a way station right here, so there's going to be people coming out. Trucks that don't seem to want to yield to me. Woo! Yo, earlier, man, I saw probably like 1,000 head of cattle crammed together, all in, stomping on mud and feces, and it smelled awful. It smells so unwell. And then now you see, so especially I got some right now on my side, but you just saw over there, free range cattle standing in the grass, grazing, given plenty of space, which they should have. I mean, you know, like, I've talked about this so much times already, but they should be given the space that they need, the water, you know, the grass, the light, all the things that they need to produce nutrient-dense, healthy, sustainable food. Baruk Yahuah. Hey, it's my shop. Check and see if I did. She said I might be getting emails. We're trying to see if we can get some kind of a business loan, and then we can try and transfer the debt and stuff. Yes, I did. I got 2 different ones related to the business, one from City and one from the ECU. And you're able to access those as well, correct? So anyway, my understanding right now is that I am in Oklahoma. I am shooting for Oklahoma City for my bed down destination. I'm not sure how long all the clips are going to end up being for today. All did ultimately go well. Received complete payment for the Anthony drop, if I didn't already mention. Seeing that the loadout board was getting fresh jobs. Got some reassuring information about the truck, as I mentioned. Scheduled an appointment. Found out some great information about Wakarusa Lounge. So yeah, it's all very, very well. As always, may Abba Baruk my rest, cover me, make me invisible to the enemy, wicked Ruach Ha'Qadash, and continue to give us safe travels and favor in these loads and things, and the fuel prices. So actually there's very favorable fuel prices also in Oklahoma City, and a lot of the places out here are above board Qadash when you compare. Like, just being out west was murdering me. California is not a place that you can go to make money. I'm sorry. If you just go and drop and then get back on out, it's probably okay. But if you're picking and dropping and picking and dropping and staying there like that, that is not going to be well. Washington either. So we'll see. Like, I was joking around, but I really actually mean it. A fifth wheel to Florida would be pretty sweet right now, because that's one of the more like distant that pays, and you get right back up in. I don't know what the fuel in Florida is like, but from what I've seen down in the south, it's okay. The mid and the south and that kind of thing, whatever you might call your Bible Belt or your red states and that kind of thing, seems to have better pricing. These blue states are for the birds with the fuel costs. What's going on there? I don't know. I guess they're doing that to push more people to the EVs, and they're more willing to go ahead and go to it. Half of them are there already, bro. You know. And so that is what it is. What I've done, the research that I've seen, the people and the earth that's exploited for the purposes of that industry is not well at all. Of course, they're not going to tell you about that part of it, right? And they want everybody to believe that the oil is this depleting resource, that we only have a certain amount of fossil fuels from dinosaurs and all that. Information center at rest area. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if I will be adding anything to this one or not. But either way, I want to thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for any comments and emails that you all send me. Please let me know if you have halal requests. Please let me know if you have anything, topics that you want to be discussed. And again, I'm going to say, like, I want to try to meet up with my brothers and sisters. If I got siblings out here, you know, let's break bread. Let's have a meal. Let's halal together. Let's Baruk Yahuah. Let's blow the shofar. We can have an offering made by fire. You know, I just have certain things. Like, I'm not going to go meet some single sister out here somewhere. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to your house or whatever. Okay? It's like a public place, and mostly, you know, I'm interested in interacting with the brother. If he's a husband, if he's a father, even if he's single and it's just, you know, then that's okay, right? But I'm not going to do anything that gives, you know, that's a stumbling block or gives an unwell impression or anything like that. I'm not doing that, okay? But if you are a sister like that and you want, then you can just get with my Asha, and she'll talk to you, and she'll answer. You know, and if it's something that her and I already have an understanding on, she can share that with you. But if she doesn't know, she'll come to me and she'll ask me, right? So, Baruk Yahuah. I don't know. I'm in Oklahoma, so that's what it is. Baruk, Oklahoma, and I got an hour and 45 minutes to go. Baruk Yahuah. There's actually just a little bit more time than that left in the sun for the day, too. And you know, there's all this weird stuff going on with these time zones around here, right? Because it's Pacific, Mountain, Central, Eastern, so Oklahoma is apparently Central. Yeah. So I have to try to do most of my functioning on Indiana time because that's how the logs work. That's the hours dispatch keeps. And that's just the way to try to keep it a lot less confusing for me. Because it's funny, right? Like, I have the clock in the truck tells me the time that it is in Washington. The clock on my old phone, which is my work phone with all the RV transport apps and Google Maps and email and all that, is on Indiana time. And the new phone that I'm doing the recording with, dude, these people are not paying attention. This guy literally just about turned right into me. Another one, or this gal, I should say. Dang, you gotta, like, look ahead. You gotta, dang, bro. Scary stuff, family. Head on a swivel out here. Some of these people are like wielding deadly weapons and they are not right in the head. And that's just the truth. It's absolutely defensive discernment and high alert. High alert. Alright, Mashpaka, much love. Baruk Atah Yahuah. Bahasham, all call Shalum, Yahusha, Hamashiach, Hallelujah, Rumamu.